Hi, this is Elliot again. This is another game design web vlog thing. And today is the first day, the evening after the first day of Strategicon Gateway 2015. And here's an update of how I spent my day promoting Ilios and other things. First of all, I got a fancy shirt. It's got my name on it. It says Modest Games because I'm part of Modest Games. Again, remember modestgames.com and @modestgames if you want to follow us on there. That includes Joseph Limbaugh and Ross Helwig and Games Thieves, Postcard Empire, and Cthulhu, and other cool stuff. So check that out. It was a very interesting day for me. But first, I will just say that at the show, got there late, explain in a second, but did pretty well. I was able to do some demos, got a bunch of emails. If you would like to be on the email list for Ilios, you can either go to playfordgames.com and sign up there for their email list, or you can go to modestgames.com and sign up on our email list there. And you will find out about Kickstarters for each of those companies, and certainly the Ilios Kickstarter will be, all the folks will be informed on there. If you're seeing this and you're not following Ilios on Twitter, that's @IliosGame, ILIOSGAME. But it was a good show. I got a chance to play after the dealer room closed. Jeff Sayadek's new game World Peace that he's been working on. That looks like it's going to be very fun. Here was my day. So I had a bunch of posters that I wanted to print out. They are Where did I put the ones I didn't use? Oh well. They're somewhere around here. Somewhere. Oh, they're there. So for promoting the games, we have things like this and this. Not those ones. The ones that I already have are at the show. But those are on 13 by 19 paper, and I have a really nice printer. It's called a Canon i9900. You don't care, but that's what it's called. And it uses 8 different kinds of inks, and sometimes they run out. Well, anyway, I left printing the new posters that I wanted to do for the new stuff that was happening to today. And when I did it, the first one that came out looked crappy because I was running out of ink. And I'm like, all right, I knew this might happen. It's not a big deal. I will go and get some more ink because just 8 blocks from my house, there's an Office Depot, and I will go to Office Depot and I will get some ink, which I did, except they don't carry my ink anymore for that particular printer. I don't know why, but they don't. So I thought, all right, well, that's a bummer. So I started checking around, and it appeared as though nobody in my general area of Culver City, Palms, California, carried that ink anymore. They could get it for me, but it wouldn't be for 3 to 5 days, and I could just buy online. I was going to do that, but the big deal was I had to have it today. And this is all at about noon today. So I thought, I know what I'll do. It's going to cost me $100 to get ink. I bet you there's a printer I can get that will do that, and it'll be $100, and I'll spend the same. And I don't want another printer, but my printer's like 10 years old. It's a great printer, by the way, but the driver doesn't always work. So I'll get a new printer and whatever. So I go on to Best Buy, because Best Buy, and I look for printers that do 13 by 19, and there appeared to only be 3 that they sell, 2 of which, well, 1 of which they actually, it would have taken time, but there were 2 of which that I could get in the store. And 1 of them was $100 by Hewlett Packard. Anyway, so I went through all of the stuff, all the specifications on the printer, and it said, does all these different print sizes. Now, it didn't specifically say 13 by 19, but it said these sizes and more. But the key thing was it said printer maximum width, document maximum width, 16.5 inches. And I thought, that's awesome. I want that. For $100, I can get a 16.5 inch print, which means I could print bigger posters. That would be awesome. So I ordered it online. They reserved it. I go drive over there, but you have to understand, it took me a little time to do the research, and then it takes about an hour for them to tell you that it's ready to go pick up. So by now it's about 1:15, something like that. I go over, takes me 10 minutes to go over to Best Buy. I go get it. Takes me another 10 or 15 minutes for them to figure out what it is. I gotta wait for somebody in line, yada yada. Get the printer, put it in the car, drive home, go to set it up, and I look, and the printer isn't big enough to print 13 by 19. Now maybe there was something that I missed, so I looked around, and I moved it around, and I looked around. It's not going to print 13 by 19. For whatever stupid reason, those specifications were incorrect. There was no way this thing, it doesn't even have a flat pass-through print. It does a thing where it goes around in a circle, but there's no flat pass-through even to do long pieces of paper, let alone 16.5 inches wide. So I had to take it back. When I went to go to take it back, the first thing I looked for, though, was to make sure I could get a different printer, because I thought, well, I'll just get a different printer, right? So I went and I looked at my thing, and I double-checked everything to make sure that I was right about what I saw, and I was. It was wrong, and I tweeted to Best Buy, who apologized, and that was it. So I looked and I looked, and I found an Epson printer, a Workforce 7620. I will forget that after today, but I remember it now. This definitely prints 13 by 19 inch pages. It was not available at the Best Buy that was nearest my house in Culver City, but there are 2 Best Buys near my house in Culver City. I don't know why. Just to make sure, I went and I checked and I looked around the Staples and Office Depots and so forth within my zip code and within a 15 to 20 minute radius. None of them had the ink that I wanted. None of them had 13 by 19 printers either. But this Best Buy did have this 13 by 19 printer. It's an all-in-one. It had all this other stuff. And I didn't really need it, but I thought, alright, you know what, I'll get a big all-in-one. It'll be cool. I'll get rid of some of the other stuff I have. I have a bunch of older printers that do different things. I can do it all in one, and it'll work with my computer better. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Well, I go, and I drive, and I get to the Best Buy in the Westfield shopping mall. I return my old printer. They were very nice about that. It didn't take very long to do that. I will say I had to park 5 blocks away, which I'm not sure why that happened, but there were no spaces right next to the Best Buy. I guess it's a busy day. Labor Day weekend. Who knew? Not a busy store, though. Anyway. So, they say, oh, we just got to go get it from the back. We have one. It's way in the back. We'll go get it for you. Great. Very nice. Everyone was very nice. And it took 10 or 15 minutes for them to bring the printer out. I did notice the box was a little damaged. But I thought, it's not a big deal, right? I don't care about that. So, went and got my car, drove it back. Nice gentleman put it in the back seat of my car. And that took a little while because I've got a convertible and it was a big box. It's a pretty big box. It's a big box. I'll show you the big box. It's not that heavy. I'm making noises for no reason. This is a big box. See? Big box. Anyway. Drive home, take the printer upstairs to my apartment. Take the printer out. Set it up. I can tell. This is going to be great. It's a beautiful printer. Lovely. Got a lot of that little blue tape. And it's clear that no one else has ever opened up before. It was all brand new. And I go and I plug it in and I start doing what you're supposed to do. And it gets to a certain point and I get a message that says, because it's got a little touch screen, open scanner and take packing tape off of printer. Well, look. Packing material. There was, did I do that first? There had been, before I tried setting it up, there had been a piece of tape that was connected to part of the printer. I had taken it off. So I opened it up and I'm looking inside where I looked before and I was trying to figure out, well, what didn't I take off? And I looked around and around and around. There wasn't any other tape. I'd gotten it all. Taken up all the tape that they, because they got to hold it together so it doesn't fall apart when it's in the box while it's being shipped. So I close it up, I press the button that tells me to press, and I go to do it, and it says the same message again. Now I go through all the rigmarole, but by this time, it's now 3:30. Now I want you to keep in mind, I was supposed to be at Strategicon at 2 o'clock. I thought I would have plenty of time to print the things I needed to print and get to the show at 2 o'clock with plenty of time to set up and do everything I wanted to do. But now it's 3:30. It's not working. So I go online and I look at some information. I try to find anything that would tell me why this would happen. Maybe there's a way to clear it. Maybe there's a thing that I can do that'll make the machine move the way it's supposed to move. But none of that happened. I couldn't find anything that helped me, although I spent another 25 minutes doing that. So then I called Epson, because that's what you do, and I spoke with a very nice gentleman. Don't remember his name, but after about 5 minutes on the phone with him, I had to wait for him for 5 minutes. That doesn't really matter. He says to me, "Well, sir, I'm very sorry. Your printer doesn't work." By this time, it's 4:30. After all that's said and done, I need to take a shower because I'm sweating. I'm upset. I don't have to tell you all the other things that made me take time, but the bottom line was I didn't get to the show until 5:15. Without any new posters printed, I will point out. What's more, it turns out that there were stores in Los Angeles, Staples stores, where I had searched, that would have had the ink that I needed. Now, none of them were right near my house, but they didn't tell me that there were other stores that would have it further away, but still close enough. So thankfully, I was able to get Canon I-9900 VCI6 ink. Now it's only 6 of the colors, but that's all that I need in order to do what I need to do tonight. My compatriot, Joseph Limbaugh, who was unable to come to the show today for reasons that aren't necessary to go into, but they were worthwhile reasons, was able to go ahead and pick this up tonight at a Staples in Sherman Oaks, California, which, had I known that, I would have done that instead. Is this a big deal? No, it's not a big deal. It's frustrating. Could I have made some different choices? Probably. And had I known what was going to happen before I actually did it, would I have done it differently? Yes, I would have. But I couldn't have known, I don't think. So now I have to take back a $200 printer, which I don't need anymore because I have the ink, and if I want more ink, I can buy it online. My printer is perfectly fine. And yes, I could have printed out my posters earlier, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and I was waiting for input from my other associates. And now it is 1:30 in the morning, and I get to print out my posters. So that is just another day in the life of a game designer. These are the things that happen when you're trying to scramble and claw and poke to get things out there to all you fine folks. So I hope that was interesting. I hope it was enjoyable. If it wasn't, I guess I'm sorry. I don't know. You watched this far. As a reminder, don't forget to follow Ilios at Ilios Game on Twitter. You can follow me at Modest Elliot on Twitter. You can follow at Modest Games, and you can follow Playford Games at Playford Games. You can always go to modestgames.com, and both Ilios and Modest Games are available on Facebook. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time, probably tomorrow. Bye.